Discipline. Just hearing that word can make your chest tighten. It sounds like restriction, like saying no to everything you crave, like waking up before the world even opens its eyes, like pain. But what if I told you the pain of discipline is a doorway? A doorway that leads not to punishment, but to ultimate freedom. Think about it. Every dream you've ever had, every goal you've written down, every version of yourself that exists in your imagination, none of them become real without discipline. Not one. Yet most people run from it. Why? Because discipline requires sacrifice. It asks you to be uncomfortable. It demands you show up when you don't feel like it. It tells you to say no when everything inside you wants to say yes. But here's the truth. They're only looking at the short-term pain. They're not seeing what's on the other side. Let's be honest. Indiscipline feels good at first. Sleeping in feels amazing. Skipping the workout, instant relief. Scrolling for hours feels like freedom. But is it really? Or is it a trap in disguise? A slow decay of potential? Because soon that comfort becomes a cage. You're tired, behind on your goals, overwhelmed and stuck in regret. But when you choose discipline, that pain transforms. Slowly, quietly. It evolves into pride, into confidence, into results. You wake up and realize you're stronger, sharper, more in control of your life. That same early morning run you used to hate, now it fuels your soul. That schedule you thought would trap you, it freed your time, your mind, and your energy. Discipline is not a punishment, it's a pathway. It's the tool you use to carve out the life you deserve. And yes, at first, it will feel hard, it will feel like pain. But eventually that pain turns into power. The very thing you once resisted becomes the foundation of your freedom. So if you've been avoiding discipline because it feels like suffering, let me ask you this. How's the alternative working for you? Is comfort giving you peace? Or is it stealing your future? Because the truth is you will suffer one way or another. You'll either suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. But only one of those leads to growth. In this journey ahead, I'll walk you through the truth about discipline, how it works, why it feels hard, and how to embrace it so deeply that it unlocks a life beyond your imagination. We'll break it down into parts, each revealing a key to turning daily discipline into lasting freedom. Are you ready to stop negotiating with your potential? Are you ready to choose discomfort over regret? If so, let's begin. Because discipline feels like pain until it becomes freedom. The illusion of comfort. Let's start with the root of the problem, comfort. Comfort is seductive. It wraps around you like a warm blanket, telling you that everything is fine. It convinces you that you can start tomorrow, that skipping one task won't hurt, that your goals can wait. But that's a lie, a dangerous one. Comfort is the greatest thief of greatness. You see, when you live in comfort, you stop growing. Your mind becomes lazy, your habits weaken, you crave ease more than excellence. And the worst part? You don't even realize it's happening. It's subtle, it's silent, it's slow. One missed workout turns into a month off. One late night turns into a pattern. One excuse becomes your identity. Why? Because comfort feels good right now. It gives you pleasure without effort. And our minds are wired to chase that. But what it doesn't give you is progress. It doesn't give you pride or power or purpose. It gives you short-term relief and long-term regret. Discipline, on the other hand, feels like the opposite. It's uncomfortable. It demands effort. It forces you to do what you don't feel like doing. That's why most people run from it. But here's what they miss. Discipline doesn't steal your freedom. It builds it. Every time you choose discipline, you take back control from the world, from distractions, from weakness, from your old self. Choosing discipline over comfort is like choosing construction over collapse. It's like planting seeds while others are sleeping. It may not bloom today, but it will. And when it does, you'll realize the temporary discomfort was worth the eternal rewards. But here's the key. It starts with awareness. You have to recognize when you're being lured by comfort. You have to catch yourself when you say just this once, because that one time turns into every time. And slowly, your standards slip, your dreams drift, your energy fades. So, ask yourself right now, what's the comfort in your life that's costing you growth? What's the habit, the excuse, the lie that's keeping you stuck? Because here's the truth. Comfort is not your friend. It's your enemy in disguise. And discipline is not your enemy. It's your guide. The more you run from it, the more you stay trapped. But the moment you embrace it, the game changes. This is where the transformation begins. Not by doing something massive, but by doing something consistent. It starts with showing up, making one hard decision, choosing one productive habit, and then repeating it until the pain fades and the power rises. You're not weak, you're just trapped in comfort. Break out, choose discipline, and watch your life transform from stuck to unstoppable. Discipline is a muscle. Use it or lose it. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Just like a muscle, it grows stronger the more you use it. And the opposite is also true. Neglect it, and it gets weaker. That's why most people struggle. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they've never trained their discipline. Think about it like this. If you go to the gym once a month, do you expect results? Of course not. Discipline is the same. It's built in the small moments, the early mornings when your bed is warm, but your purpose is calling, the nights when everyone else is relaxing but you're still grinding, the days when you feel tired, unmotivated, uninspired, but you still show up anyway. Every time you push through that resistance, you add one more rep to your discipline muscle. And the stronger it gets, the easier it becomes to say no to distractions, to excuses, to laziness. You stop relying on motivation because discipline becomes your foundation. You don't wait to feel ready. You act because it's who you are. But don't get it twisted. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never slipping. It's about having the strength to get back up when you fall. It's about being consistent, not flawless. Because the truth is, discipline isn't a straight line. It's messy, it's painful, it tests your limits. But through that pain, it gives you power. You see, most people quit when it gets hard. They feel the discomfort and assume something's wrong. But that discomfort isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're growing, that you're stretching your limits, that you're breaking free from the old version of yourself. Remember this. Every champion you admire was once a beginner who chose discipline over comfort. Every success story you hear started with someone making hard choices in silence. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for the perfect plan. They just started one disciplined step at a time. So ask yourself today, are you using your discipline muscle or letting it decay? Are you feeding your future or falling back into old patterns? Because every decision you make is either building you or breaking you. You have the power. You just have to train it. Not once, not sometimes, but every single day. And when discipline becomes your habit, freedom becomes your lifestyle. The battle is always internal. Discipline doesn't start in your schedule. It starts in your mind. Before it ever shows up in your daily actions, it's fought and won inside your thoughts. The real war isn't against the world. It's against your excuses. It's against your fears. It's against that voice in your head that says, just do it tomorrow. That voice is loud. It knows your weaknesses. It knows exactly how to convince you to play small. It tells you, you've had a long day, or you deserve a break. And sometimes it sounds so logical, so kind, that you believe it. But understand this, that voice is not your friend. It's the voice of your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is the graveyard of growth. True discipline means learning to silence that noise, to recognize it for what it is, a trap, a distraction, a lie that's trying to keep you average, and you weren't built for average. Every day, you wake up with two choices. Listen to the noise or listen to your purpose. One leads to temporary ease. The other leads to lasting greatness. The decision is yours. But here's the secret. It gets easier. Not because life stops challenging you, but because you stop negotiating with your weakness. You stop having internal debates about what needs to be done. You just do it. No questions, no complaints, no delay. That's discipline. And every time you do that, your inner strength grows. You begin to trust yourself more. Your self-respect increases. You stop feeling guilty for the things you didn't do and start feeling proud of who you're becoming. You begin to realize that the external rewards, success, recognition, freedom, are all the result of an internal victory. The more battles you win within, the more your life changes on the outside. That's why you need to master your mind. You need to become your own commander. You need to speak to yourself with authority. When your mind says, I can't, you respond with, watch me. When it says, not today, you answer, today is the only day. Because discipline isn't a punishment, it's a declaration. It's saying, I am in control of my life, not my moods, not my distractions, me. So, if you want to master discipline, start with the battlefield within. Win there, and you'll win everywhere. The power of choosing what you want most over what you want now. Discipline is not about deprivation, it's about prioritization. Every single day, life presents you with two paths. One is short-term comfort, and the other is long-term greatness. Most people choose comfort. They chase the quick fix, the easy option, the immediate reward. But those who succeed, those who truly evolve, choose what they want most over what they want now. It's easy to eat junk food. It's easy to skip the workout. It's easy to scroll endlessly on your phone. But what do you lose in that moment of ease? You trade away your health, your goals, your dreams. And for what? A few fleeting moments of pleasure that leave you feeling emptier than before. Discipline is about stepping back and asking yourself the hard question: is this helping me or hurting me? It's choosing the salad instead of the burger, not because you hate food, but because you love your body. It's waking up early to chase your vision, not because you enjoy being tired, but because you refuse to be tired of your life. That shift in perspective changes everything. When you stop seeing discipline as punishment and start seeing it as empowerment, your entire reality transforms. You're no longer the victim of your impulses. You become the architect of your destiny. The truth is, freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you feel like. Freedom comes from being in control of what you do, especially when you don't feel like it. And every time you choose what you want most over what you want now, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. The stronger you grow in discipline, the more you respect yourself. And self-respect is the foundation of real, lasting confidence. Here's what most people miss. Consistency is more important than intensity. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be committed. If you can stay focused, even when the mood fades, you'll achieve things that people only dream of. So ask yourself, are your daily choices aligned with your higher self, or are they feeding your lesser self? Because one decision at a time, you're either building your future or breaking it. Discipline is the difference between saying I could have been and I became. It's not about being the smartest, strongest, or most talented. It's about being the most committed, the most consistent, the most disciplined. Choose what you want most. Let go of what you want now. That's how discipline becomes your superpower. The battle within, winning the war no one sees. Discipline isn't something people see. It's not glamorous. There are no cheering crowds when you wake up at 5 a.m. No applause when you choose to say no to distractions. No awards when you sit in silence and focus while everyone else is chasing noise. Discipline is the war you fight in the dark, alone. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. Most people are fighting the wrong battles. They're fighting to impress, fighting to belong, fighting to be seen. But the real battle is internal. It's the war between your potential and your excuses, between your higher self and your habits. Every day, your mind will offer a way out. You're tired, you've done enough, take it easy today. But discipline is the voice that replies, I'm not finished yet. It's easy to show up when it's convenient, but the difference is made when you show up when it's not. When no one's watching, when quitting would be justified, when you're running on empty and still choose to keep going. That's when something shifts. That's when your inner strength is no longer a concept, it becomes real. See, people will talk about your results later, but they'll never see the battles that built them. They won't see the nights you chose to study instead of sleep, the weekends you spent building when others were partying, the times you kept your mouth shut when anger tried to own you, the moments you broke down, but still didn't give up. And you know what? That's okay. Because discipline isn't about proving anything to the world. It's about proving everything to yourself. That you are not your past. That you are not your impulses. That you can rise above your pain, your laziness, your fears. Yes, it's hard, but the pain of discipline is temporary. The pride of transformation is forever. You might not feel like you're winning today. You might be tired, stretched on the edge of giving up. But every time you choose to keep going, you're winning. Every rep, every page, every decision, it's building you quietly, powerfully. So don't stop. Don't let the quiet fool you. The world may not see it yet, but a warrior is being forged in silence. And soon, your results will speak louder than any noise around you. You are not meant to live average. You were built for more. Discipline breaks chains, one choice at a time. There's a secret that every free person eventually learns. True freedom is not found in doing whatever you want. It's found in doing what you must, until what you must becomes what you love. And that transformation begins with discipline. We often believe discipline is the enemy, the strict parent, the cold voice, the joy killer. But look closer. Discipline isn't here to hurt you, it's here to unlock you. Every time you say no to comfort, you're saying yes to growth. Every time you resist distraction, you're protecting your vision. Every time you choose consistency, you're breaking the chains that keep you stuck. Freedom without structure becomes chaos, and chaos steals your peace, your power, your potential. But when you apply discipline, everything changes. You begin to move with clarity. You stop reacting to the world and start creating your world. You don't just drift through life anymore, you direct it. It starts small. One decision. 1 hour of focused work, one healthy meal, one workout, one deep breath instead of a sharp reaction. It's the smallest acts of discipline that start breaking the biggest chains. Chains of laziness, chains of fear, chains of regret. You don't need a massive breakthrough, just a consistent commitment. And here's the part most people miss. Discipline isn't meant to last forever in the same form. What feels like sacrifice today will feel like second nature tomorrow. What used to hurt will eventually heal you. What once felt like a burden will become your blessing. That's how freedom is born, from repetition, from struggle, from discipline. Don't let the world fool you into thinking freedom is found in doing less. Real freedom comes when your mind is no longer your master, but your tool. When your emotions serve your goals, not sabotage them. When your body obeys your direction, not your cravings. That's the kind of freedom most people never taste because they refuse to be disciplined, but not you. You've started the journey. You've begun the process of taking back your life, one decision at a time. And the longer you stay on this path, the lighter the chains become. So the next time it feels hard, remember this. You are not sacrificing your freedom. You are fighting for it. You're not losing comfort. You're gaining control. And every time you choose discipline, you are taking one more step toward the life you deserve. The price of greatness is repetition. There's a secret to greatness that few talk about. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. And it's definitely not easy. That secret? Repetition. Yes, repetition. The simple, quiet act of doing the same thing over and over again until it becomes who you are. You see, in a world obsessed with quick results and overnight success, the truth is this. Greatness is born in monotony, in routine, in consistency. It's the person who shows up every single day, rain or shine, tired or energized, motivated or not, who eventually rises to the top. Look at any world-class athlete, musician or entrepreneur, and you'll find the same pattern. While others were searching for shortcuts, they were building discipline through repetition. While others gave up after the first failure, they kept going. They kept repeating the process, perfecting the details, building something powerful, one step at a time. But let's be real. Repetition is boring. It's not sexy. It feels like pain at first. The first time you try something, it's new and exciting. The second time, it's manageable. But by the 10th, the 100th, the 1000th time, it feels heavy. It feels like work. It feels like you're stuck in a loop. That's where most people quit. They mistake boredom for failure. They think repetition means stagnation. But the truth is, repetition is growth in disguise. Every time you do something repeatedly, you're carving it into your identity. You're telling your mind, this is who I am now. The person who trains every day, the person who writes even when uninspired, the person who sticks to the plan no matter what. That's how discipline turns into character. And that's when something beautiful happens. The pain starts to fade, and freedom begins to take shape. Freedom from procrastination, freedom from doubt, freedom from the need for motivation. You no longer need to feel good to take action. You take action because it's simply what you do. That's the transformation repetition brings. It's not just about building skills, it's about becoming a new version of yourself. A version that doesn't rely on external validation. A version that doesn't crumble under pressure. A version that knows how to grind in silence until results roar. Yes, repetition is uncomfortable. Yes, it's tiring, but it is also the cost of mastery, the price of greatness. You don't become successful by doing something once. You become successful by doing it until it becomes second nature, until you no longer have to think about it, because it's simply who you are. So the next time you feel like quitting because the work feels boring or slow, remind yourself, this is the path. This is how it works. This is how the pain of discipline becomes the freedom of excellence. Stay with the repetition, because that's where greatness lives. Freedom begins where excuses end. Let's talk about something that quietly kills potential more than failure ever could. Excuses. Excuses are subtle. They disguise themselves as logic. They wear the mask of valid reasons. They sound like, I'm too tired. I'll start tomorrow. This isn't the right time. But make no mistake. Excuses are chains. And if you keep believing them, you'll never be free. True freedom doesn't begin when you achieve your goal. It begins when you take full ownership of your life, without blame, without complaints, without delay. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment you reclaim your power. Because every excuse you make steals from your future. Every time you say later, you're delaying the growth that's meant to transform you now. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you're choosing to stay stuck. You want freedom? Then embrace this truth. Discipline is the gateway. It might feel painful, it might feel like a heavy burden, but that burden becomes lighter with each step you take in responsibility. The discipline that once made you groan will one day make you grateful. When you stop running from the hard things and start running toward them, your life changes. That's when discipline becomes freedom. Freedom to wake up and control your day. Freedom to move through life without guilt. Freedom to chase goals without constantly starting over. Freedom to say no to distractions and yes to destiny. You see, people often think freedom means doing what you want, when you want. But that kind of freedom is an illusion. It leads to chaos, regret, and wasted potential. Real freedom, the kind that fuels your dreams and sharpens your soul, comes from doing what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. That's when your inner power is forged. That's when your future is secured. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the regret of excuses lasts a lifetime. So what do you choose? Do you choose to keep putting it off, convincing yourself that someday will magically come? Or do you choose to silence your excuses today and step into your power? Because here's the truth, someday isn't real. It's just a word we use to escape today's responsibility. Your future isn't waiting, it's watching, asking what you'll do right now. This is your moment to stop blaming circumstances, to stop hiding behind fear, to stop doubting your potential, and to start showing up for yourself, for your dreams, for your greatness. Every time you silence an excuse, you unlock a new level of discipline, and every level of discipline opens a new door to freedom. No, it's not easy, but it's worth it. Because the day you decide that your future matters more than your excuses, that's the day everything changes. And that's the day discipline becomes your path to unstoppable freedom. Let's pause and reflect for a moment. You've walked through the truth, raw and unfiltered. You've seen how discipline, though painful at first, is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. You've heard how excuses, comfort zones, laziness, and delay rob you silently, stealing time, energy, and potential. But now, it's time for a decision, a bold one, a final one. Because at some point in your journey, you must choose a life of discipline or a life of disappointment. The choice seems simple, but it's not easy. Discipline will demand sacrifice. It will test you. It will ask you to wake up early when everyone else is sleeping. It will push you to say no to things that once gave you temporary pleasure. It will break your routine, challenge your mind, and stretch your limits. But then, one day, it will reward you. The very actions that once felt like suffering will become your strength. Waking up early will feel empowering. Saying no to distractions will feel like self-respect. Following through on your goals will become second nature. You'll look around and realize something beautiful happened along the way. You became free, not because your life became easier, but because you became stronger. That's the miracle of discipline. It transforms ordinary people into extraordinary beings. It turns weakness into resilience. It sharpens the mind. It elevates the spirit. And above all, it builds unshakable confidence, because when you can control yourself, no external force can control you. Success? It's just a reflection of your internal discipline. Peace? It's what arrives when you stop betraying your potential. Happiness? It's born from the pride of knowing you didn't quit on yourself. So don't run from the pain of discipline. Run toward it, embrace it, welcome it, use it. Because every drop of sweat, every moment of struggle, and every ounce of resistance you overcome, it all leads to freedom. And this freedom, it's not found in the absence of rules, but in the presence of self-mastery. You don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't even have to be the fastest. You just have to be disciplined, day by day, step by step, consistently. And over time, the pain fades, the doubts fade, the limitations fade, and what's left is a life built on strength, purpose, and relentless progress. So today, choose discipline, not just for the results, but for who you become in the process. Because when the world sees a disciplined soul, they see more than just success. They see someone who refused to settle, someone who endured the pain, someone who chose freedom, and that someone is you. Now go. The world doesn't need more comfort seekers, it needs more disciplined warriors. Be one of them. Be the difference. Be unstoppable.